There is a truth that was once buried beneath pride, ego, and the illusion of control, slowly finding its way into the light as time reveals what intention once concealed in subtle and unexpected ways. Someone with influence, confidence, and a carefully built image once believed they could shape your path, deciding how your story should unfold, assuming your silence meant acceptance and your patience meant defeat, rather than quiet endurance. What they misunderstood was your quiet strength, the kind that observes, learns, and endures without needing to announce itself or seek validation from others. Every painful moment became a lesson. Every disappointment became structure for emotional growth, and every setback shaped a deeper understanding of your own worth and emotional boundaries. The turning point arrived when trust was crossed, not with spectacle, but with a subtle shift that changed how everything was seen, interpreted, and felt moving forward. From that moment, natural consequences followed. Relationships realigned, clarity replaced confusion, and emotional distance created space for reflection, accountability, and understanding on both sides. Today, what remains is not revenge or collapse, but awareness, a clearer understanding that actions echo through time, shaping outcomes in ways people often fail to anticipate or fully comprehend. And as this chapter settles, you stand in a stronger place, not because of what was taken from you, but because of what you learned to rebuild within yourself, with patience, dignity, and resilience. And with that understanding, there is a quiet sense of peace that comes from finally seeing the full picture without distortion or emotional confusion. Over time and clarity emerge. But purity is not weakness. It is a mirror that exposes those who hide behind power. And now, that mirror is forcing them to confront every lie, every manipulation, every secret move they made in the shadows. What they destroyed in you is rebuilding itself stronger. What they lost because of you is echoing through their entire life, like a haunting reminder they cannot erase. A contract is crumbling, a connection is severing, and the authority they once flaunted is slipping from their fingers like sand. They broke your faith, but in doing so, they shattered their own destiny. Another moment unfolds now, more intense than the last. Behind closed doors, this powerful person is pacing, restless, unable to breathe the way they once did. Their nights have become heavy, their days feel suffocating, and nothing, absolutely nothing, is going according to their plans anymore. They are watching opportunities disappear without warning, relationships fall apart without reason, and doors close at the exact second they reach for them. And deep inside, they know why. They know it started the moment they broke something sacred inside you. They underestimated the universe's way of balancing energy. They believed their influence protected them. But now, they are realizing their connections cannot save them. Their reputation is shaking, their confidence is cracking, and the weight of their own actions is becoming unbearable. Listen carefully, because this next revelation is where the real twist begins. Someone around them, someone they trusted blindly, is revealing hidden truths, exposing their intentions, and leaking the very secrets they tried to bury. Their own circle has turned against them, not out of hatred, but out of fear. They see the downfall happening. They feel the curse of their actions unfolding. They know that being connected to this person means being dragged into the same storm. This powerful figure is watching their empire collapse piece by piece, not because anyone attacked it, but because it was built on the foundation of breaking you. And the most shocking part? They never expected the universe to defend you so fiercely, so immediately, and so undeniably. Their downfall isn't loud, it's silent, humiliating, and unstoppable. Now pay attention, because the final part of this chapter reveals the deepest truth of all. The universe has shifted its protection toward you, and the price they are paying is only the opening chapter of what is coming next for them. This individual, who once stood tall, is now kneeling before consequences they never imagined. Their influence is fading, their name is losing power, their confidence is trembling, and the more they try to regain control, the more everything slips further away. Meanwhile, your energy is rising, quietly, steadily, powerfully. What they tried to break has become your greatest strength. What they tried to silence is becoming your new voice. And as this story continues, you will understand exactly why they are suffering, what they fear most, and how destiny is preparing something massive, life-changing, and completely unexpected for you, my beloved child. The moment this new chapter begins, something in the air tightens, like the universe itself is holding its breath. The powerful person who once shattered your trust is now standing in the center of a storm they created. But this time, the storm is not bending to their command. Their voice, once loud and commanding, is trembling in rooms where they once ruled. Their steps, once confident, now echo with fear, and as they try to hide the cracks spreading through their world, more people than you realize are beginning to notice. They thought breaking you would strengthen their control, but instead, it triggered a chain reaction that is spiraling far beyond their reach. And as this unfolds, stay with me, because every second reveals something they prayed would never be exposed. Something unexpected is happening behind their back. A once trusted confidant, someone who once had access to private conversations, plans, and unspoken intentions, has started to reconsider where their loyalty truly lies. Having witnessed how circumstances shifted after a serious emotional rupture involving you, they've begun to step back quietly, observing everything from a safer distance. What they see now is a pattern of instability beneath a surface that once appeared unshakable. The insider has started noticing how alliances are quietly shifting as conversations grow more cautious and people begin to question decisions that once seemed unquestionable. Deals that once looked secure are faltering without clear reason, and confidence among supporters is thinning in subtle but undeniable ways. It feels as though an invisible shift is taking place around them, where every move becomes harder to sustain and every certainty begins to dissolve, and those closest to the situation are beginning to sense that the consequences of past actions are now unfolding in ways that can no longer be ignored. Increasingly, this person is prioritizing self-preservation, choosing silence over involvement, and carefully distancing themselves from any situation that could pull them deeper into instability or shared consequences they no longer wish to be part of. At the same time, perceptions are shifting among observers, as what once looked like control now appears fragile, unpredictable, and increasingly difficult to maintain under pressure. In this unfolding atmosphere, even minor events are interpreted as signals of a deeper restructuring that cannot yet be fully understood, but is clearly underway. Those paying attention sense that this is not a sudden collapse, but a gradual exposure of truths that have been building beneath the surface for a long time now, becoming visible widely. It is caused by their own actions, their own words, their own betrayal of someone who carried innocent intentions, and the fear they feel now is something they cannot show, but it is consuming them from the inside out. Now stay with me, because the next revelation is where everything sharpens. This powerful person has begun to sense that something or someone is watching them, not physically, but energetically. They feel eyes on them when no one is there. They hear their name in conversations that suddenly go silent, They see signs that point back to you in ways that make their chest tighten. At night, their thoughts replay the moment they broke your trust, and it haunts them like a shadow they cannot escape. The universe is forcing them to face the full weight of what they did, and the more they resist, the heavier it becomes. Their intuition is screaming that something major is coming, a shift, an exposure, a collapse, and they know deep inside that it all connects to you. This realization is driving them into a panic they cannot hide, even from themselves. And now, as this part closes, let this truth sink deeply into your spirit. They are paying a price so enormous that even they cannot understand how quickly their world is unraveling. Their power is fading, their reputation is thinning, their control is slipping like water through broken fingers. The person who once believed they could break you without consequence is now facing consequences that multiply every moment your energy rises. And trust me, your rise has already begun. The universe is preparing you for a shift that will rewrite your path entirely. As their life tilts into chaos, yours is aligning with something extraordinary, something destined, something unstoppable. My beloved child, the moment this chapter opens, a deeper, darker truth begins to surface, one that the powerful person who broke your trust has been desperately trying to hide. Their world is trembling not just because of what they did, but because of what they feared would eventually come to light. And now, that fear is becoming reality. They can sense it every time they close their eyes. They feel it when their phone vibrates. They hear it in the sudden silence of conversations around them. They know something is slipping through the cracks, something they cannot control anymore. And that something is the truth they buried the day they tried to break you. Stay with me until the end, because this revelation is going to shift everything you thought you knew. A secret, heavy, dangerous, and deeply tied to their downfall, is starting to rise to the surface. This secret wasn't just about breaking your trust, it was about what they gained from it, what they took, what they manipulated behind the scenes, and who they deceived in the process. They didn't just underestimate your strength, they underestimated the universe's timing. And now, someone close to them, a person who has always known more than they should, has begun to speak, not openly, not loudly, but slowly, carefully, strategically. They are dropping clues, leaking fragments, creating tiny fractures in the wall of lies this person built. And with each crack, the truth is getting ready to spill out. The powerful figure is terrified, because they can feel the consequences crawling closer with every passing hour. Now the atmosphere around them has become unbearable. Their sleep is shattered. Their intuition is screaming. Their hands shake when they check their messages. They are losing the ability to pretend everything is fine. They can no longer hide behind their influence, because the people who once supported them are growing suspicious. Their behavior is becoming erratic. At times, a person begins to react in ways they don't fully understand, snapping in conversations, second-guessing those around them, and revisiting decisions they once made effortlessly. It is as if an unseen weight settles into their daily life, making even simple moments feel heavy and uncertain. What once felt natural now feels fragile, and they start questioning not only others but also their own judgment. They may even find themselves withdrawing, avoiding reflection in both literal and emotional ways, as if self-awareness has become uncomfortable rather than grounding. From the outside, it may look like confusion or change, but beneath it is often a deeper internal struggle, shaped by regret, awareness, and unresolved emotions. Meanwhile, there is usually someone observing quietly, someone who notices patterns others miss. This observer does not rush to conclusions, but pieces together the emotional shifts and the chain of events that led here. Over time, understanding grows, and with it comes clarity. Situations that once felt tangled begin to make sense, and perspectives slowly shift. And as clarity arrives, relationships and circumstances naturally begin to realign. What was hidden becomes visible, and what was uncertain starts to settle into truth. In this unfolding process, change often comes unexpectedly, not as punishment or reward, but as a natural correction of imbalance. And in that space, people often find themselves entering a new chapter, shaped by awareness and reflection. Over time, what once felt overwhelming gradually transforms into understanding, allowing individuals to rebuild their sense of direction with greater calm, patience, and emotional balance than before. With time, everything settles into a clearer perspective that supports healthier decisions moving forward, quietly restoring balance and clarity again, with steady inner peace emerging. The powerful person who believed they could damage your spirit without consequence is watching their reality crumble piece by piece. What they did in silence is coming to light. What they attempted to hide is being dragged into exposure, and what they thought would bury you is becoming the exact force lifting you higher. Their power is fading fast, and yours is quietly awakening, expanding, strengthening. The tables are not just turning, they are flipping with divine force. My beloved child, as this next chapter begins, the universe pulls the curtain back even further, revealing a moment the powerful person who broke your trust prayed would never arrive. Their world is no longer just shaking, it is collapsing in real time. The energy around them has shifted so dramatically that even people who once admired them can sense something is off. Their confidence, once blinding and dominant, has turned into a trembling mask that barely holds together. And now, the truth they've been running from is preparing to erupt into the open. Stay with me, because this is the point where their downfall becomes visible not only to you, but to everyone around them. A voice they once relied on has finally changed its tone. Someone from their own inner circle, who has silently watched their decisions, their manipulations, and their lies, is no longer protecting them. This person has grown tired of covering their tracks, tired of defending their actions, tired of carrying the weight of secrets that were never theirs to hold. And now, that individual is preparing to reveal something major, something that will expose the exact moment things began to fall apart, the exact betrayal that triggered their destruction, the exact truth they hoped would stay hidden forever. Their fear is growing because they know this insider's loyalty is gone, and with it, all the shields they once depended on. Rumors are beginning to circulate in the spaces where this powerful person used to walk with absolute control. Whispers in hallways, quick glances exchanged in meetings, sudden silence when they enter a room. People who once looked at them with respect are now watching them with suspicion, with doubt, with a sense that something isn't adding up. This shift is subtle but devastating. Their influence is slipping through their fingers. Their name no longer commands trust. Their decisions are questioned. Their authority is challenged. And the more they try to regain control, the more obvious their desperation becomes. The universe is stripping away every illusion they once hid behind. Now stay close, because this is where the momentum accelerates. A document they hoped no one would ever see is resurfacing. A conversation they thought was forgotten is being replayed. A message they believed was deleted has been recovered. Evidence, real, undeniable, powerful evidence, is moving toward exposure. And the one thing connecting all of it is you. not because you wanted revenge, not because you fought back, but because the universe itself is revealing the truth. The balance they broke is restoring itself, and in the process, everything they did to you is coming to the surface. Their downfall is no longer quiet. It's becoming a storm that others can see, hear, and feel. And as we close this part, you must understand what's happening on your side of this shift. The universe is clearing your path while dismantling the one that harmed you. Your energy is rising as theirs collapses. Your clarity is strengthening as their confusion deepens. Your destiny is unfolding while theirs unravels. You are stepping into a chapter where everything broken inside you becomes a source of power, and everything they built on deception falls apart publicly. Their fear is growing because they know the exposure is coming. They can feel it. They can sense it. They can already see pieces of their world slipping away. My beloved child, as this chapter begins, the moment they feared the most has finally arrived. The moment where truth collides with their carefully crafted lies. The powerful person who once broke your trust is no longer fighting rumors, suspicions, or silent consequences. Now, they are facing something undeniable, unavoidable, and uncontainable. Their breath shortens, their chest tightens, their mind races with panic. They can no longer hide. They feel exposed in ways they never imagined possible, because for the first time, the truth is standing directly in front of them, and it carries your energy. Stay with me until the very last line, because this is where the real shift begins. A confrontation is unfolding, not loud, not dramatic, but piercing. A moment no one expected has finally arrived, as someone previously silent chooses to speak with calm certainty. They carry information that reshapes the entire picture, linking past events to choices that were once brushed aside or misunderstood. At first, the person being confronted reacts with disbelief, trying to reframe the situation as a simple confusion or a misreading of intent. Yet as the conversation continues, that confidence begins to weaken. Their explanations lose structure, their composure starts to thin, and the situation becomes harder to control. The one speaking remains steady, not driven by anger but by a need for clarity that has been building over time. They are no longer influenced by pressure or status, but by a firm belief that the truth deserves to be acknowledged. Slowly, the atmosphere shifts. What once felt like authority now feels uncertain, as if every statement is being weighed more carefully than before. The realization begins to settle in that some outcomes cannot be avoided by explanation alone. In that space, tension replaces denial, and reflection replaces avoidance. The person once in control starts to understand that the situation is no longer shaped by assumption, but by facts that cannot be easily dismissed. Each response they give reveals less confidence and more hesitation, while the other remains composed, observing without escalation. In the end, what unfolds is not chaos, but a quiet turning point where truth takes precedence over perception, and both sides are forced to see the moment with a clarity that cannot be undone. It becomes a moment that neither side can ignore or rewrite, only understand as everything settles into a new, undeniable perspective for everyone involved moving forward. Uncertainty, vulnerability, fear, and now they understand the gravity of what they did. Stay with me, because this is where the revelation deepens. People who once defended them are now stepping back, distancing themselves, choosing silence instead of support. They are watching the truth unfold, and they cannot deny what's happening anymore. The powerful person is losing allies faster than they can explain themselves. Their influence dissolves in real time. Their name, once spoken with respect, is now whispered with caution. They try to call in favors, but no one answers. They try to regain credibility, but doors are closing. They try to rebuild their image, but the universe will not allow it. Their downfall has become visible. Their fear is becoming public. Their karma is arriving with precision. And now comes the most important part of all, the shift happening within you. While their world collapses, yours is gaining strength you didn't even know you possessed. The universe is preparing you for elevation, alignment, and breakthroughs that were blocked for too long. Their betrayal was the trigger, but your rise is the outcome. The pain they caused became your awakening. The trust they broke became your transformation. And as this part concludes, understand this: their consequences are not ending, they are only beginning. The powerful person who believed they could break you without cost is now paying the highest price of their life. My beloved child, as this new chapter opens, the universe pulls everything into perfect alignment. This is the moment where destiny steps forward, not quietly, but with a force that cannot be ignored. The powerful person who once broke your trust is now standing at the edge of the very downfall they created. They can feel it in their bones, in their heartbeat, in every trembling breath. Nothing around them feels stable anymore. Their plans collapse before they can finish speaking. Their confidence evaporates the moment they walk into a room. The world that once bowed to them no longer recognizes their authority. And deep inside, they know exactly why. They know the universe has begun to rewrite their story, all because they attempted to break yours. Stay with me, because this is the turning point where everything flips. A new force has entered the situation, something they never accounted for, something more powerful than influence, money, status, or connections. This force is truth-wrapped in divine timing. Suddenly, people who once feared them are not intimidated anymore. Eyes that once looked up to them now see through them. There is a shift in energy every time they speak, every time they try to explain themselves, every time they attempt to reclaim their control. The universe has stripped away the illusions they hid behind. Now, even their strongest weapon, silence, manipulation, reputation, has lost its power. Their words fall empty, their presence feels heavy, their excuses hold no weight. They are facing consequences that grow sharper every hour, and nothing they do can slow it down. Now stay with me, because the twist intensifies here. Someone who has always stood in the shadows is stepping into the light. This person has watched carefully, listened quietly, observed every detail without revealing their intentions. They have seen the lies, the manipulation, the betrayal. They know exactly how the powerful person used their influence to break you. And now, this silent observer is preparing to act. They are ready to speak the truth at the perfect moment, the moment when the powerful person is weakest, most exposed, and least able to defend themselves. This individual will become the key that unlocks the final collapse. The powerful figure senses this. They feel hunted by truth. They feel cornered by fate. They feel their world tightening around them with no escape left. And now comes the part the universe has been waiting for. Everything that once felt lost, your peace, trust, hope, and sense of stability, is gradually finding its way back into your life in ways you never expected. But this return doesn't arrive quietly. It shows up through change, growth, and a deeper awareness of who you are becoming. What once felt blocked now begins to open, and what once felt delayed starts to align with surprising timing. Your inner energy is shifting upward so strongly that even those who never noticed you before begin to sense your presence differently. As you grow clearer about your path, confusion fades, and what once felt complicated becomes simpler to understand. The direction ahead feels more aligned, more intentional, and more connected to your purpose. With every step forward, old limitations lose their hold, and your confidence starts to rebuild itself naturally. Situations that once felt heavy begin to lose their weight, replaced by a lighter sense of possibility. You are entering a phase where your experiences start reflecting your growth, and your perspective expands beyond what it used to be. This is not about others falling behind. It is about you rising into a version of yourself that is more grounded, aware, and resilient. As one chapter closes, another begins to unfold with opportunities that feel both unexpected and meaningful. Trust the process, because what is coming next has the potential to reshape your story in powerful and lasting ways. Each moment ahead invites deeper clarity, renewed confidence, and a stronger connection to the path unfolding before you, reminding you that growth is continuous, and every experience is shaping something greater than what you can currently see. Stay present, and trust what unfolds ahead now.